Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this is my review for The Commuter. In this action packed thriller, Liam Neeson stars as Michael, an insurance salesman whose commute home suddenly takes a dangerous turn. After being confronted by a mysterious stranger, Michael must race against time to uncover the identity of a passenger on his train. As he swept into a conspiracy with life and death stakes for himself and his fellow passengers. This is rated PG-13. It runs 105 minutes and it is a 2018 film. It stars Liam Neeson and some other really good actors along the way. At least some of the main characters I recognize, like their face. I might not know their name, but I recognize some things that they've done in the past and stuff, and now they're in this movie. And so I wanted to see this when it came out in theaters. It seemed like a good movie. It seemed like an action, nonstop kind of thing. And I was like, I'm a little tired of Liam Neeson stuff, so I'm just gonna kind of skip this one in theater. That I was like, I'll just skip it. So now we fast forward, however many months later, I just saw it. It's good. I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters. I think I would have been more disappointed. Um, I kind of was able to appreciate it, to be able to sit here and just watch it, and it was good, I think. So I knew what the movie was going to kind of be, and it was what I expected. I think it was trying too hard to be a Liam Neeson movie, and it kind of has some shortcomings. So I took some notes. I'm just going to kind of say them. Uh, I think the opener was really weird. I know that Liam tries to go for that kind of feel when you start a movie. Taken was all shots of him and his family. This one was all shots of him and his family, and kind of going day by day, trying to get you that feel of the monotony of life, and the way of commuting is supposed to be just monotonous. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. I could tell what they were going for, and then they just kind of jumped into it, and it's like, how are you supposed to jump from monotonous to action movie? It's just kind of, I don't know if they pulled that off or not. And then the fact that they start talking about him being an ex-cop for the first half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever, it doesn't seem to be relevant. And I think that it might have succeeded without telling us that he used to be an ex-cop until later in the film, because the story is the most important part in the first half of this kind of a movie, and sometimes you gotta wait to release details. So they talked about him being an ex-cop a lot, and it worked out and made sense with introducing characters that were cops, but I don't think that has to mean that you had to tell us that he's a cop. After that first 20 minutes or so, I just sat and watched this movie, and it was a while until I wrote anything down again. The next thing that came up was that this movie is kind of about conspiracy and everything. One of the guys that's part of the conspiracy ends up outing himself and just gets into this kind of crazy fight scene with Liam Neeson. And I don't know why the guy outed himself. I don't get that. I'm like, if you're part of conspiracy, what's the point of killing anybody or doing anything until you have the result and the evidence and the person you want? I mean, what's the point? What's the point of yelling out at somebody? Where's that person at? Where's that person at? if you kill him, you're never gonna find out. So what's the point? That was like one of the weakest scenes in the movie for me. I can't get over the fact that Liam is looking really old in this movie, and I kind of feel bad for him. That this came across his desk. Obviously, he wanted to do a good action film like this, even though he's probably done something like this before. And I just felt sorry watching him. Like, I think he needs to start finding himself a different role. Even Pierce Brosnan has gone into the musical world. I mean, he's not trying to be James Bond at his age, and I think Liam needs to start doing some other things himself at his age. This is starting to show some very big flaws in his character, and he tries so hard to make the action stuff work, but I just wasn't buying it the whole time, and I felt every face he made of grunt and every face he made of pain. Uh, every time he tried to act scary or interesting or smart, I just knew that he's trying to play his character. It was very apparent. So I just felt bad for the guy. And so I kind of wish him well on his future projects because I don't think he needs to be doing this stuff too much longer. The other problem or flaw with this movie is all the details. I'm not going to get so picky about every single one of them because there are a lot of them, but there are a lot of confusing details and they just kind of blur past it and they burn through it and they're just kind of leaving you going, what? Who was that person? What did you say about that thing? We find out that this evidence and this person at the end, it didn't seem like that big a reveal. I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be such a suspenseful movie. It's all about finding out who this one person is. Once we find out, it just seems like kind of a letdown. And then when we find out what the evidence is, what everybody's after, really, except, besides the person who's carrying it, we don't really, find out much about it, except these little details for 20 seconds. And the whole movie's about that thing. I just figured they give a little bit more attention to it, give it a little bit more emphasis, and give it a bigger reveal. I don't know. Then the ending comes, and the last 20 minutes or so is pretty good. I mean, good fight scene, good action, good suspense, a lot of smart stuff happening. The people left on the train are standing up together. It's all very, theatrical and very good, presentation of it. And I enjoyed it for the last part, and then they just ruined the ending for me. If you're going to have a villain and you want them to convince people that they are actually a villain, you cannot have an ending like the Commuter has. You can't just have the villain end up being, oh, there's just this person, this normal person. If they don't get caught, they'll sacrifice everybody else to make sure that they don't get caught. And they ride off in the sunset, and you never hear from them ever again. That's a good villain. This lady ends up just being a normal lady, and they catch her. It's like, what? Awfulest. I don't know why I said awfulest. This is the most awful ending that I've seen from a movie that just shoots itself in its foot. Like, it could have gone any direction. It could have just said, that Liam Neeson got his insurance job back. Nope, has to turn him back into a cop. It could have said, whatever, they live all happily ever after. It shows him and his family together. Just let the movie end. I'm going to give The Commuter a C+. It was actually really good. I wanted to keep it in the C range, but the action is really good. The mystery is really good. So I would suggest watching it and just kind of get a feel for it. Don't expect too much. Just kind of sit back and watch. That would be my suggestion. So thanks a lot, guys. My name is Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would, and enjoy your movies. Thanks a lot.